I'm not saying you have to dress like this. In fact, this is not even the sunnah way anyway. This is not sunnah. Okay? It's really not. Anybody here knows what's the sunnah dress of the Prophet ﷺ? Please tell me. Somebody? Yes, sir. You're moving your hands, so I know you know what you're saying, but you're not saying. The people listening to this in the future won't know what you're doing with your hands. He's talking about what they call longi. He's talking about longi. How many of you know what's ihram? You've seen people wear ihram? It's exactly like ihram, only it can be colored, it can be stitched, it can be like the longi. It's where you wrap the sheet around the bottom of you and another sheet over the top of you. That's what they all wore. That was their clothes. That was their clothes. And sometimes he wore imama. Yes. So if you said, I really want to dress sunnah, you really will look funny. That's not the point. I'm not trying to get you to do that. What I'm trying to do, though, is to have you think about to be responsible, to dress like a Muslim is to what? First of all, everybody know this rule? The awra. What is awra? Huh? Yeah. The area from the knee to the navel has to be covered all the time. Even in your own home, in front of your own children. And by the way, just in case you didn't know that, this is one of the cases where the rights and limits are at a balance with men and women. How many of you knew that women don't have to cover any more than their knee to their navel? I knew I'd get you on that one. It's the same for the men as the women. You're waiting for the rest of that, right? He's going, huh? Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to think about it. I said this is the basic. You can never expose that. Never. Except when you, of course, you take a bath or something like this, or in the privacy with your husband and wife like that. But other than that, this area is always covered, even in your home, even around your children. Can a woman show her ankles to her children? Sure. But not above the knee, right? Can a woman show above her stomach to her children? Well, if she doesn't, they're going to starve to death. So yes, that's the minimum. But as soon as any man enters, then she covers up immediately. Isn't that true? And that's when she begins. And there's actually, as I understand it, 2 levels of covering. And I didn't hear anybody explain it this way, but this is what I've actually seen in Muslim countries. When a woman's in her house, she has normal clothes that she normally wears around when her husband or her brother or somebody's going to come in. She has clothes on. But when she goes outside, she covers more when she goes out. So, but the minimum is from the navel to the knee. That's the minimum. Good questions. I like this. Keep giving me easy stuff that I know the answer to. Okay, we're going to go back to the ladies and give the ladies a chance. Speak loud enough I can hear you. Okay, she's asking the question, if I understood it right, what to do about somebody who goes to Islam and then they go back out of Islam. Is it correct to talk to them again? Well, first of all, I have seen that. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. Usually, what I've seen when I get to some place and you introduce me to somebody that did this, and I talk to them, I find out they didn't really go to Islam, they were under pressure. And they felt like they didn't know how to get out of it, so they just said it. Like sometime a woman will say that so she can get married to a man, or a man will say it so he can marry a woman. But they're really not doing it because they want to. If a person really understands there is Allah, then they have no doubt. And they understand that they need to do what Allah wants them to do. And they really want to do that. Why would they change their mind later and not want to do it anymore? It's very rare. But if they did, then to go back and do what? And the key is always the same. Always begin by talking about Allah. You want to talk about Allah and His qualities and His attributes. Who made this beautiful day? Allah. Who gave us the food to eat? Allah. Who is the one that really loves you when nobody else does? Allah. Who's the one that forgives you when you make these mistakes? Allah. And who's the one that will bring you back on the day of judgment? Allah. And who's the one that will put the believers in His Jannah? Allah. And talk to them about that. Let them think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His many, many attributes. And if you know His 99 names, the majority of the names that we know, by the way, are very nice, good, positive, excellent names. He's got a couple in there, though, that'll scare you. Right? He's the one who expands, but He's also the one who constricts. Huh? He's the one who forgives. He's the one who's merciful. He's the one who's the loving. He's the one that has patience. He is the one who is worthy of all praise. He has so many of His names. Talk about His names. Here's an important point. Before you get into these issues, these are issues of fiqh. Don't go there. Don't go there. If they said, well, I don't want to wear hijab, tell them, well, you don't have to. You don't have to wear a hijab to go to Jannah. That's true. Anybody who says La ilaha illallah with conviction, they meant it, and they died on that, the Prophet ﷺ said, and it's in Sahih Muslim, they go to Jannah. And other hadiths mention the same thing. Even if they have a grain of belief in Allah, they will eventually get out of hell and go to the Jannah. But the one that Allah won't forgive, regardless of how many nice so-called good deeds, they're kind, they're generous, they blah 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 blah, but they make partners with Allah or deny Allah, and Allah said, I do not forgive shirk, but anything less than this I can forgive. Did He say that or not? Is that what He said in the Quran? And He means it. He's not joking. I think it's in Surah An-Nisa, verse number 48. Verily Allah does not forgive that partners should be set up with Him in worship, but He forgives anything less than that from whoever He pleases. Whoever sets up partners with Allah in worship, he has indeed invented a tremendous sin, yushraka bihi, to make shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For sure, you want to talk to the people about that. Let's break it down this way. I gave you some basic ideas. I don't want to sum it up with this and close out. You want to present Islam, start this way. First, talk about what does Allah mean, the word itself. Second, talk about the word Islam and what it means. Then stop. That's enough. When the Prophet ﷺ sent Mu'adh bin Jabal radiallahu anhu to Yemen, he said, I'm sending you to a people of the book, to the Christians. Teach them Tawheed. What? Teach them monotheism. He didn't say go down there and tell them about hijab. He didn't say go down there and tell them how to make wudu. And in another hadith he told them, tell the people La ilaha illallah, and if they accept that, then you tell them about the salah. You don't even tell them about salah until they be La ilaha illallah. And after they make shahada, don't just dump everything on them. Okay, you did shahada, now you have to do everything. Ha ha ha, the bus is leaving for Hajj in 15 minutes, you got to go. What is that? No, step by step, right? Just because they said shahada, they're still brand new. No dents, no scratches, low mileage, Let them have a chance. Give them a chance. One by one. Does that make sense? We'll be talking more about that later. In our programs, I do a lot of that. If you listen to our programs online, we got over 100 audio programs online, and you hear me talking to people all the time saying the same thing. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. That's it. There's no sense going beyond that because they're not ready. And by the way, just so you know, the problem with women not wearing hijab and the brothers cutting off their beards and people not wearing the right kind of clothes goes back to the same problem. The reason they're disobedient to Allah is because they really don't know who Allah is. And they don't realize what their position is and their relationship is to Allah. That's what we're all about. One is the belief, the correct belief in La ilaha illallah. The second is our relationship to Allah. That's it, in a nutshell. Inshallah, I ask Allah to forgive me. If there was any good in this program, it was from Allah. The mistakes are from me, and I ask Allah to forgive me and to give you the patience to deal with me in the future. Ameen. Visit our website at islamtomorrow.com, islamtomorrow.com. Our website's open 24 hours a day, and there's always plenty of free parking. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.